Yeah. Hmm. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start now, okay? And just for the record, what is your full name?
Pardon me?
What is your full name?
Oh, Max. You want an other name too? Samuel. But it's not so important,
Yeah.
no? Is it enough? Max Krautler?
That would be
Is
fine.
enough?
Sure. And when were you born?
September 4, 17.
Okay. And where were you born?
Krakow, Poland, in Poland.
Okay. And did you live in Krakow when you were still a child?
Yeah, till the war.
Till the war? And what did your father do?
He got a store, what do you call this? How do you call this here? What do you call this? All kind iron things.
Sort of like pots and pans kind of thing, or
Huh?
like pots and pans, or
Not exactly.
an ironworks?
Irons and things, and keys and all kinds of things.
Okay. And your mother, what did she do?
She was home.
She was a homemaker?
House.
Okay. And did you have any brothers and sisters?
I got one brother and two sisters.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about growing up in Krakow. What was growing up in Krakow like for you?
Oh yeah. You went to school, you do a little sport. He was doing. And later I work a little bit.
Where did you work?
I work in a shoe. About distributing shoes for the whole Poland. Distributing shoes. Delka. Maybe you had the brand shoes Delka.
Okay. And when you were growing up, did you experience any anti-Semitism in Krakow?
No, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
No, yeah, happens, accident happens. Or the close, when you went to the close by the university, over there by the university. So happens, accident, there was beating up sometimes, and all kind of happens.
Did anything like that ever happen to you?
No.
When did you first hear about Hitler?
No, in Poland, when I live in Poland, you hear the papers, you read the papers, so you hear.
Was that before the war?
Oh yeah, sure, before the war, you know already. And, the war started 39, you hear already 38, 37, 36 maybe, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, you hear the papers, you read.
And what did you hear about Hitler in Krakow?
No, yeah, his program, what can he have? You had all kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And did, in particular, did you hear about what his programs were towards the Jews in Germany?
Yeah, you hear this. You hear what kind of program he got.
Mm-hmm. What kind of reaction do you remember having any kind of reaction reading this?
No, yeah, what you can do. What you can do. You couldn't do nothing.
Okay. Do you remember when the war broke out? Yes. Can you tell us?
In 39, in September 1st, 39, yeah, maybe September 2nd or September, you see already planes over Krakow, German planes here, you hear.
And was there any bombing in Krakow?
No, not exactly. No, not exactly. I didn't see bombing.
And do you remember when the Germans moved into Krakow?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? You know, what your memories are of them coming in, how you felt at the
No,
time?
there was September 1st was the war. There was shortly, not long before, there was the one in Krakow too.
Mm-hmm.
What you can do, the Germans was ready, the tanks and everything was on the street. You couldn't do nothing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And what happened whenever they moved into the city? What happened to the people living in Krakow?
No, the
Did things change?
Yeah, they changed. Everything changed.
Sure.
Everything changed. You couldn't go all the places. There was an restriction and everything. And food and everything was shortage.
And how did the Germans coming to Krakow impact on you? How did it change your life?
No, you have to be. You have to watch. Be careful, not come. They start to picking up on the street to work. People are starting to picking up to all kind.
Mm-hmm.
This was the start.
Sure.
They started picking up to all kind of work, and they let them out in the night. This was only the start. Later was worse.
Did you know anybody that got picked up? Did you get picked up?
Yeah, I got a few times picked up too.
And what did they make you do?
All kind of work what they needed somewhere, and people don't know.
What kind of work? Just an example.
Wood and carrying and all kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
all kind of.
Were you and your family were you moved into a ghetto at any point?
Yeah, later everybody got to move in a ghetto.
Can you tell us about that?
In Krakow. And, you know, the ghetto, they moved the small, you got the one room maybe you got for the whole family, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
And was the close together, you couldn't go out when you want, you need pass and things and all kind of restriction.
Who patrolled the ghetto?
Oh, the Germans, yeah, the Germans, they got help also from the Jewish police, they forced them to.
Mm-hmm. And how did they pick the Jewish police to help?
How they pick, I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly how they picked them.
Okay. Can you describe sort of, how can we say this, what everyday life was like for you and your family living in the ghetto? What was a typical day like?
Bad.
Can you sort of elaborate and just, you know, for purposes of telling the story, what would be an everyday life in the ghetto be like?
You have to watch every second. You have to watch every, we could get trouble with them, with the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was afraid.
Now, when did you leave the ghetto?
Well, all that the ghetto in 40, maybe 42, took me to a concentration camp. I think was Gross-Rosen concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Concentration camp, it was so long, it was over there. I don't remember exactly. how many months I was, and later they took us to a kind of work camp.
Okay. When you, excuse me, when you were deported from the ghetto to the camp, to Grossrosen, were you married at this time?
No. Oh, before I went to Grossrosen, was close in Krakow, where I live, was a concentration camp also. I was over there in the concentration camp maybe 2 years before I went to Grossrosen.
So when did you go to this camp near Krakow?
When they closed the ghetto.
Okay. And that was in?
This was in Krakow, close
Right.
Krakow, near Krakow.
And what date, more or less?
Pardon me?
And when was this?
No, when they closed the ghetto, remember what is 40, 41, something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. When you were deported from the ghetto to this camp,
Yeah,
was there anybody with you, any relatives or friends?
no, only by myself.
What happened to your family?
My family, they took my father and they took away somewhere, and I don't know what. He's dead somewhere. And my brother took my mother to the other town because over there supposed to be better.
What town was that? Do you remember?
Bochnia. And he took my mother over there. No, he went by himself. I sent my mother later, sent over there to my brother. This was not far from Krakow. Bochnia was the town when she was over there. I didn't get, my brother got the papers, permission to stay. I didn't receive, so I was using my brother papers because he went away. I was using my brother papers to stay, and I stay over there, and I got the permission. And my mother, they discovered there was also start over there in the town where they went. There was the hide somewhere because there was try to clean up over there the town, and there was hiding somewhere in a bunker. My brother and my mother, and the German discovered the bunker, and they shot them both.
Okay. And
I find out later from friends.
okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whenever you got to the concentration camp, can you describe for us sort of what it looked like to you and how you felt about it?
You was every minute you was afraid they can shot you or something. I was always afraid. And food was not enough. You was hungry. Always. You didn't got. You got lice on you. You couldn't wash. You couldn't change nothing. So lice was eating you up.
What kind of camp was it that you were in near Krakow in the first year or two?
A concentration camp. We went to work also outside the camp was all kind. They took us to all kind work.
What kind of work did you do?
There was all kind and on the street and so I can carry wood and all kind.
And why were you moved to Grossrosen? Do you remember? or did they just do it?
Why them with us? I don't know. I think they closed. Later they closed the camp or something. Not right away, but systematically they closed the camp. And I was on the transport to go out from the camp.
What was sort of like the typical routine, if you can call it that, in the camp near Krakow? I mean, like, just sort of tell us, you know, how you got up and what you did throughout the day.
You got up early in the morning. You have to go out. There was Appelplatz, what do you call this? And there was counting people and all kind of things. And later, some people went out from the camp to work. Some was working in the camp. Oh, no.
And what did you eat? When did you eat?
In the morning, you got a piece of bread. And this is supposed to be for the whole day. If you eat right away, you got nothing later. So maybe what was a half pound or a pound for the whole day. And that's all. You got a little coffee or little coffee or something. Lunchtime you get that, some kind of soup, water soup.
And in the evenings?
Also a little bit soup.
Okay. When you got to Gross-Rosen, what was that like? Was that the same as the camp near Krakow?
No, it was
that
worse. When we went in, was the music playing, and we went into the camp, music was playing, and there was beating people. According to the music, there was beating.
And these were Germans?
Yeah, soldiers, yeah. And there was beating us, and music was playing.
Who was playing the music?
Germans over there.
What was camp life like at Gross-Rosen?
From Gross-Rosen, they sent us somewhere later to another camp.
What was life like for you while you were at Gross-Rosen?
No, scaring and everything.
Mm-hmm. Was it also a labor camp?
Yeah.
What sort of work did they have you doing?
Carrying all kind bricks and all kind things.
Were you working for a company nearby, or was this all done within the camp?
In a camp. No, maybe it was a company them outside, some kind.
And then from Gross-Rosen, how long did you stay in Gross-Rosen?
No, not too long. Later they sent us to the working camp, Krawinkel, Flossenberg, also was a concentration camp. It's also the same work, bricks carrying and all kind of things.
How were you transported from camp to camp? How did you get there?
Depends. Sometimes on foot, sometimes they got a train, a train where they have the cattle trains like that.
Can you describe us what that was like?
No, they packed in a wagon like cars, and that's all. No windows, nothing. Tight. You couldn't move nothing.
Did you ever see anybody die on one of these trips?
Many died. They got sick, some die. Yeah, sure, you don't get. Many die. I see many people.
How long were the marches?
The marches depends. and where you went. You went in different camps. Sometimes the marches was few days, sometimes was longer.
When you were in these camps, did you ever have a colleague or a friend to help you get by?
Yeah, I got a friend, yeah.
Did you have any friends in friend in Grossrosen, for example?
Yeah, I got a friend, yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know particularly what happened to him. I got a friend and one friend, yeah, I know. I got one friend which I didn't feel so good, and he was helping me. I could hardly walk because we were skeleton bones. He was helping me, and at the end he got sick, and I was helping him to walk. And I couldn't walk so fast because he was sick. I could slowly, and the Germans told me to let him, and I have to go. Without him, I left him, and they shot him.
When was this?
On March on to Grossrosen.
Oh.
Because I couldn't walk so fast because he was sick. And they told me to let him, and I have to go, otherwise they shot me too.
After Grossrosen, where did you go next?
Flossenbürg,
Flossenbürg.
they camp.
It was Flossenbürg another labor camp?
Also heavy work, carrying all kind of wood and bricks and all kind.
What do you remember in particular about the time you were at Flossenbürg?
No, also was rough. Also there was beating. For every small thing we got beaten and things.
Were all the guards at Flossenbürg German?
Yeah.
And after Flossenbürg, where did you go next?
After Flossenbürg, I went to Buchenwald.
Buchenwald, yes. And what was that like?
Buchenwald this was on the end. There was in other camps also.
Okay.
Buchenwald was the last one. And I was in other camp, Odrufs, all kinds smaller camps. And on the end we went to Buchenwald.
When you were in all these camps, did you ever see any German civilians outside of the camp?
Yeah.
Did you have contact with them?
I was in a camp in Silesia once, not too long, and you was transporting coal to the German people, So yeah, this was before. And sometimes we got a little bit to eat from the people who was delivering coal and all kind to the private once a while. I was not too long.
Were they ordered to give you food, or did they do that on their own?
No, they did on their own, some.
So you got the impression did you get the impression that German civilians knew about these camps?
Yeah, sure, no.
Yeah.
Majority no.
The majority knew about these
Yeah.
camps? Okay. Buchenwald, tell us about Buchenwald. How you felt about when you got there?
Oh, the same. With the reception was with music and the beat us and all kind. And there was all kind nationality over there in Buchenwald from all kind. And at the end, later we went on a march. It was not too long. We went on a death march from Buchenwald.
Did they tell you where you were going?
No, never. You never know where you go. We went on the death march. This was the last camp. This was already probably end, close to the war, to 45 sometime. We went on the death march. We walked day and night without a rest. On the end, after a few days, from Buchenwald, we went in Bavaria to a farm, a farm over there. We're supposed to rest over there by the night because the German was already close, the American, and he was close, and they were shooting back and forth. We hear this. And we're supposed to rest, we're supposed to rest in a farmhouse over there. This happened next morning where we had the shooting. And we're supposed to rest in the farmhouse. We lay down over there in the farmhouse. Everybody was looking for some kind of food. Everybody was hungry, starving from that. There was straw and everything in the farmhouse. I went onto the hall looking something to eat, find something. And a friend went also over there. And when we enter the hall, we hear the postons, they say, antreten, we have to go. They got the order, said the American ready close, we have to go. I was already have that anyway. So I said to my friend, I'm not coming out from the hall. What will happen, will happen. We could work, I could hardly work. And I stay onto the hall over there, my friend also. And they got the dogs, German dogs, with them, looking for people. They was missing, they was counting, they went out ready from the farmhouse, they was counting, there was missing people. So the dogs was looking around. One dog come over there onto the hall to me, and I was protecting myself, like take me the arm, because I was afraid he will bite me. And I hit him. I don't want it. Some kind of way I hit him, and this was my luck. Otherwise, he bark. When he see somebody, he bark, and the Germans come and take us, and shoot us right away. And this was luck. He got scared because I hit him in the nose or somewhere, and he didn't bark. So they went away. They thought there's nobody over there. And I, with my friend, we was onto the ground over there. We stay. We was afraid to move, to go out. After maybe a few hours later, so they went away. And we stay. This was the luck. So he got scared and he didn't bark. Otherwise, they was shot him. They went away. And after a few hours, we got up. He was looking. They got the farmhouse had holes for the pigeons, the little holes. And I hear look around from the hole, I hear there was working over there, the Polish workers was working by the farmhouse over there. And one said to the other one, the American here, I couldn't believe, I just hide here, the American already here, I couldn't believe this. And we were still few hours in the farmhouse, we was afraid. After a few hours we went out to the farmer. He gave us something to eat. And I see already the American tanks on the road over there. So I went out, I stopped the American tank, they give us packages to eat. And one American soldier took us to the farmhouse, to the farmer. He took us to the farmer and told us to bring us to the nearest town, to the hospital. So we slept a night at the farmer, and in the morning the farmer took us to the nearest hospital over there. And in the night we hear shooting back and forth, American and German. There was still fighting over there. In the morning it was quiet. The farmer took us to the hospital in the nearest town. Luck. I was lucky.
What happened after that? What happened in the next few months?
No, we stay in the hospital. I stay a few weeks, a few months over there in the hospital. And after we settled in the little town, we settled over there for the time being. In the little town over there where the hospital was. And they give us a little room over there somewhere. Or some lady give us a room in her apartment. And over there, I meet my wife. My wife was the one, we got a room in her house.
So your wife was German living there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about?
She was not the wife at the time, but later I married her.
Can you tell us a little bit about the people in that town? When you got to the town with the hospital, did they help you at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I went to the store, to the brewery, give a little beer or a little meat or whatever. And yeah, because they know us. We was only a few people over there in the small. Everybody knows somebody, so they give us a little bit always.
Mm-hmm.
Was only a few people, me and my friend.
When you were in this town, did you have a chance to talk to the Germans living there about, what had happened with the camps? Did they know about the camps? Did they talk to you at all about them?
Nobody said they know. Everybody said they don't know. Nobody knows nothing to say.
How did you meet your wife?
This was what I got the apartment over there.
Mm-hmm.
She was the daughter from the people who give me a room in the apartment.
So after the war, you didn't go to a DP camp, or?
No, I stay over there in the town, and later I moved to a little bigger, a little city. I moved.
What was the name of that town that you originally were in?
A small town, Falkenstein. This is not far from the city. Regensburg was the city.
And then after Falkenstein, you moved to?
Regensburg was a little city.
How long did you stay in Regensburg?
I stayed a few years. Regensburg, I settled in Regensburg. I got in Regensburg, opened a little store, textiles, a little store I opened in Regensburg. And I stayed a few years.
And then where did you move? When did you come to the United States?
In '56.
Why did you decide to come to the United States?
No, I wanted to come. I wanted to come to the United States. This was in '56.
Mm-hmm.
I went to New York. So.
Mm-hmm. How did you get? What did you have to go through to get to the United States?
Registered and waiting. You got wait. First through organization, I registered to come here and was waiting till I got the papers, everything, and later we come to New York.
What organization did you register with?
This was a Jewish organization,
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
This was joint, I think.
What did you do when you got here to the United States?
And I got here in '56. No, yeah, for the start, we stay in New York, and later I got a little job, looking for a little job. And I work in a little hotel, in a club first, in a club. Later I was working in a hotel,
Okay.
Hotel Pierre.
If you don't mind, I'd like to just go back and ask, what was it like living in Germany after the war, being Jewish? What was it like for you?
In German, no, yeah, it was quiet. It was quiet. Nobody bothered us.
Did you have any? Were there any anti-Semitic activities after the war that you experienced?
I didn't see. I didn't see.
Was your wife Jewish?
No, he was German.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with her about, the Holocaust?
No, she know they're here, I know a little bit.
But you never really discussed it?
No.
What was life like for you in the United States? Did you speak English when you first got here?
No, I got to learn. I didn't speak English. Slowly I learned a little bit.
And then you got the job eventually, like you said, in the Hotel Pierre?
Yeah.
With all your experiences of living through the Holocaust and seeing it all, is there anything you'd like to say about that? Is there anything you want people in the world to know about that?
People know because they're watching TV and all kind of news. So they know. They know.
What would you like people, though, to understand as a result of the Holocaust?
Nobody can understand. Even when you went through, you couldn't understand this.
Right.
People can understand that could happen things, and some people even don't believe that it happened.
Is there anything, though, that we can learn from this experience? That we as human beings can learn from this?
No, yeah, this depends how they teach in the school, how they get education and things in the schools.
Is there anything in general, though, that we can learn about how we behave to each other?
I don't think so. You can learn something. You have to practically went through to the things that you learn.
How do you feel about being in America? How do you feel about being an American?
I'm glad I'm here and I'm American. You do what you want, it's quiet, nobody bother you. It's a tiny difference.
Besides you, do you know if anybody from your family survived?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Only I was lucky myself.
Did you have any aunts or uncles or any cousins that survived?
Oh, I don't know for nobody.
Yeah. Did you ever go back to Krakow?
Yeah, I went for a few days.
When was that?
Shortly after the war, I went to Krakow for a few days and I went back.
What was that like for you?
Strange, you don't see nobody if I know.
Why did you decide not to settle back in Krakow?
No, I wouldn't settle over there. I don't know. Everything changed. Everything is new. I don't like it. I like come back to the United States. That time I was in Germany. In Germany, I went back.
Is there anything? Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
Oh yeah, I got a brother, 2 sisters. All that, nobody. I was lucky.
Is there anything in general that I haven't asked you that you'd like to talk about? Anything you'd like us to know that I haven't asked?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. I think that's it then. Okay. Thanks a lot.
That's
really.
all?
That's it.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.